Hey, what's happening, gamers? It's K-Wife with KwingsLetsPlays, and today we're going to be doing some more SpiritFarer for the, well, this is actually on several systems, but I'm doing it for the Xbox, and it's free on the, it was free on the, I think it's still free on the Xbox Game Pass. Don't know how long it's going to be on there, so I'll try to get through it as much as I can. I certainly hope they won't delete it in the middle of me playing it, or hope they'll give me a warning, because I am getting through the game a lot, so I'm having fun playing it. Hopefully they'll let me know. Maybe I'll have to look that up and see when this is actually going to be off the Game Pass. So we're going to continue where we were. Looks like we've, it says we have 25% of requests complete. So that's something. And we've done 13 streams of this game, so I don't know why, but I saw somebody play this game in 4 hours. Like, I saw some people that were like full walkthrough, 4 hours, and maybe they just skipped all of the grinding. But I definitely have done this more than 4 hours. It's been at least 26 hours, if not much more. If not like 30 hours. Probably 28 hours I've done. Hi HM Gallbeck, hi Tom, hi everyone, hope you guys are all doing well, and great to see everybody. Hope you guys are all having a great day today. And today yesterday I did the new RPG that I've been covering, the Silent Hope, which I'm having fun with that, but today I just feel like relaxing. After this I get to take a nap, which is, you know, honestly the best thing that I could ever do. Naps are the best. I don't know, it's, my husband doesn't understand why I like naps. Like, if I take a nap now, then I'll be less tired tomorrow. I can get up earlier tomorrow morning and get more things done. It's like, it just makes logical sense. Like, I'm getting up later and later every day because I haven't slept, so anyways, just is my thing. So this is actually a new island I haven't been to, so let's actually check that out. Kalstein Mines. Good morning, Shadow Trooper. Good morning, everyone. Hi Garth. Hello Haris. Hi Tom. Hello Philip. Hi HM Gallbeck. Hope you guys are having a good day. So yeah, I'm just like looking forward to a nice, relaxing stream actually, and looks like we just got a letter from somebody. Oh, we got the Feederama. Okay, we got a letter from Olga, first of all. My sources have finally panned out. I heard my sister, Masha, might know something about where your husband's whereabouts. You should go and drop in on her, Olga. Okay, so it's a letter to Astrid, who is the Link's character. Dear Friederama customer, here's your package. Friederama employee number 2322. Okay. Alright, so we'll actually open it. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm actually gonna I think I might let Link out of his little room and let him roam around with Zelda, as long as Zelda doesn't mind. Zelda, do you mind if I let Link out? I'm just saying sorry to my cat because I let the other cat out. She was having a nice day, and now Link's gonna come out, and it's hard for me to have him in there the whole day. Okay. So Kalstein Mines. So let's yeah, I literally ran over there all the way across the house to open the door for my cat and then ran all the way back, so that's why. Kind of breathing hard. Hi Ahmad, hi Philip, hi everyone. So this is a new area. You're ready and well equipped for the job. You did well, recruit. I'm happy to welcome you to the team. Here you go, have fun in there, maybe. That sounds odd. You are going into an abandoned mine after all. Be careful and also always respect the job. Okay, we got the key for the Kalstein Mines. And looks like we're able to unlock it. Hi Ahmad, Rafi, hope you're having a good day. Alright guys, so new area. Whoa! Oh my goodness. Alright, so mining some new stuff. So I will say one thing that's great about this game is it's very relaxing. So if you have a long day at work or school and you just really don't have energy to play like an RPG or something, and I kind of forgot, oh yeah, kind of forgotten the button I need to push to do the, there we go. So if you hold up on your gamepad, your command cross, then you can do that. Let's see. Let's feed Astrid first before we talk to her. We'll give her a casserole, I guess. I will not eat that. Okay. She just likes plain food. I will not eat that. Alright. Alright. She's a little bit picky. Wow. I feel like if you give her anything with like rice in it, she likes it. I will not eat that. Wow. I will not eat that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What will she eat? Oh my gosh. I will not eat that. Okay, maybe, okay, I think somebody told me before that she has probably already been fed. I'm picking up some ore. Okay, so she's probably already been fed. That's probably why she won't eat that. I wish she would have explained it a little better, but... So that's Astrid the Lynx. Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna explore this mine. It's a little bit dark in here. Oops. Alright, so this is where we came in, I think. Alright, so we're just exploring this for the first time. Let's see. Whoops! I kind of missed that. Alright, we can actually go back up this way. Whoops. Alright, so this is gonna give us a hard time, like, doing our... Whoops. Alright, this is gonna be frustrating. Alright, so basically you have to ride these different areas into the mine. These different ropes. So I don't know if I'll be able to explore everything in the mine today. We'll try it. I think that was my cat Link. I think I just heard him meow or something. Alright, so let's see where we go. Whoops. Alright, so looks like here's a part of the mine I haven't been to yet. So that took a lot of swinging on those rope thingies. So a little frustrating, but we did manage it. Oh, here we go. So now we have to... So we basically have to use all of our techniques that we learned so far. Basically rope sliding. I forgot what that rope sliding is, a word for it. So these are rare minerals that we're getting, so we can always come back to this island and gather more resources for the ship. Okay, looks like we got some more marble. That's good. Alright, so there's an area over there. So there's a lot of places to explore in this. I don't know if I'll get to everything today. Whoops. Oh, okay, that is... I thought that was something to slide on, but it's not. Alright, so I think we basically saw the whole place. We'll talk to... Alright, we just fell into the pile of snow over there. Again, welcome aboard. Make us proud in there. Right, so we discovered that mine area, which was pretty cool. Mining our manners. Thanks so much for the 16 likes, guys and gals. If you guys are able to get to 20 likes and then 30, that would be fantastic. Thank you, everyone. I've heard we received another letter from Olga. Masha, you say? She's her sister. She might know something about Giovanni's location. Okay, good. Let's go talk to her then. She is, how to put it, special, me and her. Let's say we've never been friends. And Stella, thanks for playing Messenger. You're wonderful. Yeah, so, yeah, if you guys are just coming in, this game basically has, like, things about people's lives that they had to deal with, that some of it is a little bit dark. Like, this lady is dealing with trying to find her husband who kind of, like, ran away and ran off. So that, I mean, I think that's the darkest storyline, to be completely honest, because most of it is just like, oh, I really wish I would have played this instrument, or I wish I would have spent more time with my dad. So we're SpiritFarer. Like, basically at the beginning of this game, you have like a figure that looks like it's a cloaked figure with a scythe, so I'm assuming it's like the Grim Reaper, handing you off this ship, which was much smaller at the time. And you build it up as you go through the game, and then you basically fare spirits over to the other side, to the spirit world. Okay, let's check out Francis. Francis says it's your lucky day. How lucky you must be. I've got a few errands just for you. Hot off the presses. Alright, we did that errand. We do not have a corn dog. Aluminum. Lettuce and a leek. Bright jelly, lightning in a bottle, wool, and linen thread. We could actually go back and make some linen thread right now. And then we could probably complete that quest. So let's actually make some linen thread right now. Okay. It looks a little bit dark in this loom area, to be completely honest. Mac and cheese. So yeah, anyone having anything, doing anything exciting today, this Thursday? Hope you guys are having a nice morning. Alright, so let's see if there are any errands. There we go. We do not have any nebula fabric. So let's see if we can make some nebula fabric in our loom. So we can go back here and make some fabric. Oh. I don't know how much we need. I just have one here. Oh, I would need 12. So I don't have enough. I don't have enough. Okay. Alright, so let's actually sell, this guy, all of our old stuff that we kind of picked up on our boat. Alright, I don't really want to sell these ingredients. We could sell him some empty shells. And we can also sell him, like, sawdust. I don't think there's any use for sawdust, but I just sell it. I keep a few just in case. Sometimes I also sell Francis some of my extra meals. Like, I have a lot of poached fruit. Nobody's gonna eat all that. So I'll sell him some more of that. I can sell him one of these and... there. So I'm just selling him some stuff I have a lot of, extra just in case. There's some more oysters. Okay, Francis, let's see, what can I buy? Alright, we'll get one odd seed. We can get these lightning in a bottle, which is really good. I usually buy all of his empty bottles so that I can get lightning in a bottle. Alright. I'm immensely chipper to see such a dynamic young lady being so hard at work. Not that Charon wasn't a true professional, but his manners were, well, a bit cold, if you know what I mean. Alright, thank you, Francis. So Charon is the Grim Reaper, basically, in this game. He looks like the Grim Reaper. Okay. So here is another turtle. Interesting. It sounded like it came from the game. Maybe it was from the game, Shadow Trooper. Yeah, it's possible. I couldn't tell if that cat was my cat or if it was the cat from the game. Hi, Brandon Williams. How's it going? Hi, Ahmad. Hello, Juan. It's Argentina versus Paraguay. Which team are you rooting for, Juan? I wonder which team will win then. Alright guys, so I think we're gonna check out Masha, the turtle. So we are exploring a lot of new areas here. The more that you upgrade your ship and the more that you meet new characters, the more that they open up new story quests for you, so that's really good. Hi Later Gator, how's it going? Hi everyone. Yeah, and you can actually hug your cat at any time. Super adorable there. Super cute. We might as well shear our sheep while we're at it. So, yeah, if you don't like doing chores in life, I wouldn't recommend this game because it's a lot about doing chores. I really need to get to an area where I can get some more seeds, because I'm literally just picking up seeds that I find on the side of the road. And here we are. As I told you, Masha and I never really got along. She tried, and she's a tried and true babblemouth, and no, not the funny kind, and yes, much worse than me. I never took pleasure in destroying other people's lives. On the contrary, alright, I should be able to pull off a little bit of acting here. Let's see if I can fake it. Perfect. Masha! Good to see you again, old hag. You've retreated much further than I thought. How are you doing these days? Well, well, if it isn't Astrid, you've never been this nice to me before. Did Olga send you? Should I assume you need a favor then? If it's a scarf, sorry honey, but I've given the last one I knitted to a lovely chap in the mountains, and I'm still have some winter socks if you're interested. That's nice of you, but that will not be necessary. No, thank you. Stella here welcomed me here on her boat and made a wonderful house for me while we were cruising the oceans. All of my needs are met thanks to this wonderful young lady. Actually, it's information I'm after, Masha. Darling, have you heard anything about Giovanni? I know it's silly, but I'm still looking for my lazy husband. Olga said in a letter that you had a lead on where to find him. Oh, I did actually. But Astrid, you know, I'm not in the business of gossiping. Olga maybe. And I won't even talk about Irina, but me? Oh my, never. Remember when I inadvertently mentioned to Sir Brogwood how his wife had met with his cousin in the lower garden? Or when Mrs. Frederick confided in me the secret of her foreign love? You don't? Exactly, that's because I told no one. Oh, Masha, darling, that's true. But what do you make of Sir Longdon's spot with his wife? Because someone babbled about his mistress. Okay, this is getting really disturbing. I don't think I like this area. I don't like hearing about people cheating, so I don't know if I like this part of the game. What about the time? Blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna skip some of this, because this is kind of disturbing. Oh, I really don't care. I don't think it's funny to talk about people cheating in their relationships. I think it's, like, not really a joke. It's, like, disturbing. But that was different. Well, okay, he's in Loneburg. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't really understand people that gossip about other people's relationships falling apart like it's a joke. I don't really like that. It's pretty disturbing, actually. Your kindness is as gigantic as your forehead. You did the right thing and I won't forget. Who knows, you might even receive a crate or two of freshly threaded wool in a couple weeks. And Stella might be needing your services. I'll leave it to you. Oh, I hate her face. I'm out of here. Oh my gosh. So much gossip. This is exactly why I don't hang out with a lot of people. Too much gossip. Like, okay. Alright, so we're gonna actually put some, basically this is a turtle that you put resources on. the back of this. So this game is rated teen, guys, but it does have some like weird story plots in it that I don't really like that much. Alright, so we're gonna put some more iron in here. We're gonna do some iron and aluminum. Later Gator says, yeah. Yeah, I don't really like that. You took your sweet time, right? Are you done? Yep. Alright, I'll see you later then. Alright, let's talk to Astrid. You wouldn't happen to have a little something on you. Bye, Masha. I tried to feed you, Astrid. You said you didn't want anything. Thank you, Munchkin. Yeah, when I was on my medical assisting courses, that's how a lot of women talked about, you know, this person is, you know, doing something bad in this relationship, or they would just... I didn't like gossip because it literally doesn't help anyone to gossip about it. Like, if it's not true, if you're making up stories about somebody, number one, it's gonna hurt them because you're lying about them. If it is true, then you're really gonna hurt them also, because nobody should really be knowing anyone's business except for the people that are going through that. So it's not gonna help anyone talking about it. And it also doesn't help yourself to gossip about other people, because all that does is make you think negatively about them, and next time you see them, you have this little side eye towards them, or like you're thinking something negative about them. So it's really not, it's not healthy for anybody to gossip about other people. Like, if I hear, like, people, that's what I don't even like it on my YouTube channel. Like, people try to tell me, like, oh, so-and-so, like, 5 days ago said this in the chat. I don't care. I just forget it. As soon as people tell me something bad happened, I just try to forget it. I try to not read the comment. I don't want to know if somebody said something bad, or... I don't want to know that. I don't care. It's none of my business. You know, life is too short to worry about something like that. But also, like, you know, like, if you know, it's not like like they make it, Hollywood makes it like a thing, like, oh, you know, like, I don't like this whole idea in Hollywood where, like, you know, people have difficulty with their marriage and they joke around about it, like, oh yeah, you know, this one person's been hanging around with other people, and, you know, and then they laugh about it. It's like, it's really not funny because you're hurting the other person in your relationship. It's not really a joke, it's disturbing. Like, yeah, I mean, the longer I have been married, the more I realize that, you know, I personally think, and I know that people disagree with me, most people do, but I personally think you only get married to one person. Like, even if you, like, it's like that song, the first love is the deepest. You could break up and be with somebody else, but you would always be thinking about that first person you were married to, and you would still be attached to them, and it would really mess you up to break up with them. So it's just, I really think people are only meant to really, like, mate for life, like, one time, like, to get married and not to mess around with other people. I don't really believe in, you know, I don't really believe that people are meant to, you know, break up with people and then go on to the next person. I think that's a very messed up way. I think people are like pigeons. I think you have to choose your other pigeon and then you have to stick with that. And if you made a mistake, then you have to live with that mistake your whole life. But you can't really make a mistake in marriage, because even if you feel like oh, okay, I married this person and I don't really get along with them, or I don't have the same interests, it doesn't matter, because you're already attached to them at that point. You will learn to find interests with them. You will learn to get along with them. The more that you work together, and it's like, marriage is like, not that my cats are married, but being married is like living, I have 2 cats now. They can't go outside. They're stuck with each other in this house. They have to learn to get along. And they're going to be friends for life. And they're going to hang out together. And they're going to have to learn how to share their bowl at mealtime and everything like that. And that's what marriage is like. You know, you do the best you can. You have the freedom to choose, you know, somebody that you think, you know, you would like to be around a lot. But once you choose that, whether you made a mistake or not, you really need to stick with that and not go back on what you said, because it hurts you, it'll hurt the other person. It's not like a joke to like go around with somebody else. It's not a joke to do that. That's just my speech of the day. But I really do, I think they don't really teach very much about like marriage in school and in society. They have all these shows where it's always drama, like, oh, I married this person 20 years ago, but now I'm having other feelings. You know, love isn't a feeling, love is a decision. If you're having other feelings, then, you know, then you need to get that out of your head and start being a good human being and be faithful to your spouse and stop being a jerk and to have other feelings. Marriage isn't about how you feel, just like life isn't about how you feel, just like having kids isn't about how you feel. You can't have kids and then say, well, I don't feel like taking care of them today. It's the same as in marriage. You can't be married and then say, I don't feel like being married anymore. You decide to be married for life, so you need to do that, you know, until the end. And that's what marriage really is. And so, like, you know, 90% of shows, movies, and ridiculous things that they have online are just absolute lies about the whole thing, because if you do break up with the person, if you feed into the lies of society and you break up with the person you're married to, you will suffer irreparable emotional, spiritual, psychological damage. And so will the person that you break up with, because you're literally spiritually bonded to them. Under God, you're spiritually bonded to them, and you will always be bonded to them. Even if you marry 9 other people after that first person, you will always be bonded just to the first person. God doesn't see the 9 other people. He sees the first person that you married, and that's all he ever sees. And that's all you ever are. You're always married to the first person. And that's the honest to God truth. She has never been nice. Running her mouth like that. She's the mean one of the bunch, but enough about her. Thanks for bringing me here, Munchkin. So Giovanni is a lone bird. Well, he usually hates winter. Let's go find him, Munchkin. So now we're gonna go to Loneburg. Yeah, exactly, Later Gator. Yep, exactly. You know, I feel like our entire society is very messed up. Even religious people in our society that are supposed to be believing that, you know, you're supposed to stick with the person you're married to, they always have something to say on the pulpit, like, well, you know, if you felt uncomfortable, then I can understand why you would leave. No, that's not how God sees it. If you feel uncomfortable, you need to stay uncomfortable and stay there. It's not, you can't, or you can, you know, live in a house right next to the person you're married to and see them every day and take care of them, but you promise God you take care of them your whole life. So you cannot back out of it. There's no backing out, just like there's no backing out of anything else in life. If you have a cat, you can't back out of taking care of your cat. You can't back out of taking care of your kids. You can't back out of being kind to your grandmother, and you can't back out of being kind to the person you promised to marry. There are things in life where you make a decision and you need to follow through, and that's the reality of the situation. And that they don't teach that anywhere, but that is the honest to God truth. All right, so let's see where we're going next. Let's see. Okay, request. So Astrid's request is over here. Loneberg. Okay, so I don't actually know where Loneberg is, and I don't think that we actually have the ability to go there yet. That's Crow's End. So let's see if I can find Loneberg. Hopefully it's not too far away. Whoops. Okay, it's too dark to navigate, so we're gonna go in here. That's the reason why I don't have a social media. Yeah, exactly, Leader Gator, yeah. Hey! What are you guys doing? Oh, I need to shut the, Yeah, that's very smart, Leader Gator. I mean, I try to be off the internet more and more as well, because honestly, most stuff on the internet, on TV, it's constantly lying to you. It's constantly trying to tell you certain things are normal. You know, like even you know, you can find, like, I constantly wouldn't give my opinion on shows and movies in modern times because most of the things bothered me, you know, like even The Flash. The Flash was probably the only show that I kind of liked a little bit, but it had all this, you know, first she was with Eddie, then she was with what's her name, then she was with you know, Barry. People were just like swapping people all the time, and it's just a very messed up way of viewing life, because that's not how, you know, it's not how God sees it, and that's not how reality is. You know, you can't just swap people around like that. You know, it's really messing with, you're really messing with the course of you're messing with reality. You're messing with very dangerous spiritual things when you're swapping people around like that. And then people wonder why society is so messed up. You know, society is really messed up at this point, to the point where people just think they can do whatever they want. But you know, there are certain things, you know, taking care of your sick grandma or staying faithful to your spouse, that those are extremely important, like, principles, that if you live by that, maybe your life won't be perfect, but you're like literally living, when you do the right things in that way, you're living in accordance with, you know, the way that God asked you to act. And you're literally, you somehow are able to, you're living in like in a way in which you're like in alignment with how you're supposed to be living, how God created you to live. And if you live not that way, then you're literally, it's like nails on a chalkboard. You're literally destroying, you're actually breaking your spiritual fabric. You're breaking your connection with God and with how you were created to live. You're destroying yourself. You're destroying everyone around you. You're destroying, eventually, everyone starts acting that way. You're destroying the world. You're destroying the fabric of reality, because people are meant to live the right way and treat people right and do the right thing and do what they were created to do, which is be faithful to their spouse, be kind to their family members, be kind to their kids, and act the right way, be respectful, you know, obey the law, work hard, and try to focus on good things in your life. There's certain natural order of the way you're supposed to do things, and when you mess that up, it really does more than just mess you up. It messes you and the world and everyone around you. It messes you up. Yeah, I mean, the world is a cruel place, but you know, when you act the right way in your very small, like, tiny area where you live, like, if you get an apartment and you're on your own, say everyone around you is a jerk, all of your friends, all your family, everyone at school, everyone in your block, everyone in your town, everyone in your country is completely insane and mean and always doing the wrong thing every day. You can change your one little corner of the world by acting the right way. And you're literally bringing, in a way, you're bringing heaven on earth in your small corner of the world. Every day that you choose to be kind in response to somebody when they're cruel to you, and you choose, like, when you have your own property, when you have your own apartment, you choose, like, I'm going to be kind to my dog. I'm not going to leave my dog in the rain and not feed my dog for 4 days on end. When you're kind to your animals, when someone comes to your house and somebody spills something on your carpet and they're upset, like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, and you don't get angry at them, you're literally, like, changing reality, because in your little corner of the world, you're being kind instead of cruel. You're being faithful to people in your family instead of being, you know, just breaking up with people and running around doing your own thing. You know, you're being kind to your friends. You're forgiving people. Like, if somebody comes in your house and they spill something, you can forgive them and not give them a hard time about it. And then you're literally changing the world one step at a time just by being kind to someone. You choose, like, as soon as you become an adult and you have your own little corner of the world, you can choose to basically bring heaven on earth in your corner of the world. You know, everyone makes mistakes, and then maybe someday you will get upset, but then the next day you can get up and say, today I'm going to live the right way and be kind and generous to people and be faithful and good instead of being what the world is telling me to be. So yeah, I mean, like, a big part of that is getting off social media, getting off TV, because TV is always telling people that it's okay to act selfish and immoral. But if you try to focus on what's good and not what's evil, which is on the internet and TV, then you can definitely change your corner of the world. And, you know, so you can definitely change one step at a time, and it does matter. I mean, I heard this story about, I don't know if it's true, but I heard this story about this town that, I mean, I don't know if the story is true, but, I mean, I don't know, but I basically heard this story about this town that, somewhere in South America, that just started, like, somebody preached a sermon in that town, and they just started changing their whole life. Like, they started changing everything. The whole town just started, started to just start doing the right thing and living right, and they stopped doing a lot of stuff they were doing. Everyone in that town started having this thing where they were just completely, they just wanted to live the right way and not, not live evilly anymore. They wanted to live for God, and basically, I don't know what the town's name was, but heard this story about it, and basically when they started, like, the whole town was, like, basically set on fire for God, and after a while, the crops in that town started growing bigger than any town around them. Like, everything started to change. Like, the air was changing, the plants were growing more abundant. And so I often wonder if people started acting the right way in their small area, if things could. People always act so angry at the world, like, oh, no one has enough food to eat, and no one has this, and no one has this. But I personally do believe that, if people started acting the right way, then God would definitely bless them with what they needed. No problem. There wouldn't be any really need. But people really need to start acting the right way first. Once they start acting the right way, then good things are going to happen to them. But God's not going to bless people that are being cruel and immoral and mistreating people online and watching filth and stuff. He's not gonna bless that. So people aren't gonna, you're not gonna see people, good things happen in, you know, the areas where people are acting that way. That's what I honestly believe. I really think, you know, you just have to focus on, you know, doing what's right, and everything else will come, you know. And I, you know, not to get preachy, but, you know, just thinking of the verse, seek first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you. And I do believe that is very true, that the main thing that we're supposed to be doing is not worrying about how to solve world hunger or pollution, all this. The main thing we're supposed to be doing as people is just focusing on being kind. And God will literally handle the rest of everything. He can easily unpollute the air. He can easily feed everybody that needs to be fed and stop all the wars. We just have to worry about stop doing terrible things to each other and being unkind, and start respecting people and start treating people right that are right next to us. That's all we're really supposed to be worried about. But everyone's worried about everything but that. But all you have to worry about is just your little section of the world, your area. Just be kind to the people near you. That's really all you're supposed to do. It's not that hard. It is hard some days, like, you know, you're stressed out and tired, but that's why you just have to focus on it every day and try your best. You mess up one day, you get up the next day and try again. Sorry, I guess I'm tired, but I'm starting to get, you know, I get very sick of all these, like, shows and movies and TV that's full of filth all the time, that I constantly get asked, you know, like, do you like this show? And I have to always say yes, because I have to act like I'm cool and I like everything. But I really don't like a lot of shows because they have a lot of bad things in them. Like, you know, they show people cheating on each other and, you know, hurting their friends, hurting their family, you know, mistreating people, cheating in school. You know, you shouldn't, shows that promote that kind of stuff, you know, I don't really like it because it's uncomfortable. And it's every show, so that's why I basically watch cartoons. You know, I like cartoons, and I like I watch Animal Planet and stuff. But I, you know, for being online, I have to try to watch stuff so that, you know, so that I, you know, so I can, you know, talk about and kind of seem like I'm somewhat normal and online and stuff. But no, I don't. It really bothers me. To get away from it all, I just go to the forest, and, you know, I go to the nature, and I just sit there and look at the trees and the sky, and, you know, I just, you know, I wish everyone could just go outside every day and just thank God for the sky and the grass and the sun, because I mean, every day it's there. It's a miracle every single day. And people are always inside and they don't really notice it. But the sun comes up every single day. And if we didn't have the sun, none of us would be here. So, but yeah. I mean, if there was no TV, they even did a study about this in Papua New Guinea, where there was this village that, there was this village out in the middle, I think, yeah, it was Papua New Guinea, and this village had no TV, no internet, nothing. Actually, this was part of the diary called American Beauty. I believe that's what, yeah, American Beauty, I think, was the documentary. You can find it on Netflix. And basically, they introduced TV into this island, near New Guinea or whatever, and the island had a very good family structure. People were kind to their grandparents and parents. You know, everyone was very happy. The happiness level was extremely high. People generally liked their lives. kids and parents got along. You know, marriages lasted there, and there was a very good family structure, and everyone cared about their culture there. And as soon as TV, modern TV was introduced, American television, and I think it was like in the 90s or 2000s this happened, within like 15 years, I think it was. Like the suicide rate they didn't even have any teen suicide before American TV. Suicide rate had gone up, like 50% of teens were suicidal in Papua New Guinea then. You know, there was a lot of teen pregnancy. Kids were rebelling against their parents suddenly, and the whole family structure was breaking down. People started being unhappy, all because American TV was introduced into their society. The TV is literally promoting things that destroy society. It's promoting horrible, horrible ideas that are evil. And they make people feel terrible about themselves. They make people hate themselves. Even the commercials that they have online, they have subliminal messages in the commercials. Like, many people don't know this, but like some of those commercials that they show on TV, like say they show a commercial for like Axe body spray, or I don't know if Axe does this, but they have found like makeup commercials for women especially. You wonder why women are always frustrated. The makeup commercials for women and stuff, it actually will say in the commercial a subliminal message underneath the commercial. Like it'll be like selling like Maybelline, this is a great lipstick and it'll make you seem pretty, but underneath it has this voice whispering, you're ugly, 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 you'll be nothing if you don't get this product, saying horrible, evil things. And that's what makes people actually get the product, because they hear that subliminal voice that goes in your head without you realizing it. They found these subliminal messages in commercials that literally will tell people that they're worthless without a product. So that's why I don't watch commercials, because if you listen to that too much, you're gonna start hating yourself for commercials, because they have subliminal messages in there telling you that you're worthless. It's not good. It's very, very evil. They do a lot, you know. They're not supposed to be doing that, but people have gone through and they've found that. They found those messages in there, especially makeup commercials, but they probably do it with men's commercials as well. They probably, you know, do that for all kinds of things, you know, like, you know, you're not good enough if you don't get this. And that's why everyone's always getting those things, you know. They feel like they have to get it because the commercial's telling them that. If you repeat it over and over and over and over again, it's like brainwashing into your mind until you're literally programmed to get it at that point. So yeah, I try to stay off of TV as much as possible because I think it basically makes you into a zombie. Alright, so I'm gonna see where we are here. Hi Batman, you're amazing! Alright, have a good day later, Gator. Thanks later, Gator, you're such a sweetheart. Thank you for being so kind and listening to me. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, but, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's really, yeah, I mean, it's the society we live in, Brandon, it's, but, you know, in this society that we live in, yeah, definitely, Batman, yeah, watching old movies, that before they started putting a lot of subliminal, I mean, they still had subliminal things in some of the old movies, like, they were trying to push, like, cigarettes in old movies and stuff, but I don't think it was as hardcore as, you know, now. But I think, you know, as long as you don't watch the commercials are the worst things to watch, because the commercials have a lot of subliminal messages in them. They're very, you know, as long as you, like, I would suggest muting or just turning off your TV during every commercial break, because it's very scary, the fact that they have those kind of messages, and a lot of them, you know, well, yeah, exactly, but they've also found not to be creepy. I mean, this is kind of a creepy game, but they found that there's two things that make a person buy a product, and I won't say the first one because it's offensive, but the second one is also offensive. But death is something that makes people buy products. For some reason, talking about death in a commercial will, like, psychologically stimulate people's brains to the point where they'll be afraid and then they'll buy this product. So, like, I don't know what it is, but people put a lot of death symbols in everything on TV. Like, they will put death symbols or say the word death or something over and over again in commercials. And I don't know why they do this, but it's true. And it makes sense why people are so suicidal, because if you keep hearing the word death all the time, people are going to end up killing themselves. And yeah, so it's I do think there's a huge correlation between watching TV and people killing themselves. There's something really messed up about it. Like, if I had a neighbor or a friend or my kid, you know, was watching a lot of TV and they were suicidal, I would get rid of their TV. I wouldn't allow them to watch TV anymore. I would go out to the zoo with them in a park, and I wouldn't allow them to watch it, because I think it is trying to make people do that. And it is really scary, because, you know, I don't think their original intent was to make people do that. I think their intent was to sell products, because death is such a scary thing, and it makes us, like, you know, you hear the word and you just, like, you jolt out of your skin for a second. It gets your attention, you know, and so that's why I think they put it in there. But I think it is having another effect on people, where it's making people hate themselves and want to die, which is terrible. I think it's also causing people diseases. Subliminally, you're thinking about dying all the time. You're going to start to feel sick and start deteriorating. That's what I honestly do believe. So yeah, there's a lot of messed up stuff about TV, which is why I don't have cable at all, and I don't want it. I only buy stuff off Amazon. Like, I purchase the shows. I don't watch the commercials, because I think there's something really... I've seen a lot of evidence, and I've heard the messages underneath. There's something very bad in those commercials. Not all of them, not all companies, but a lot of the companies do use very bad messages in their commercials. He's been here. I can feel it. I won't beg, but if you could, come on, you know what to do. Alright, so we actually got to the right town. Let's talk to this person. Oh, thank you, Batman. You're amazing. Oh my, aren't you the cutie pie? I'll call you Peanut, like a cute little peanut pie. What? You're looking for someone named Giovanni? But that Bambina doesn't surprise me one bit. I mean, who isn't looking for me? I am Giovanni. Leon Formidabile. Sorry to break it to you, though, but you're a bit young for me. What? Astrid, you say? She's with you on your lovely boat? Say no more. Here I come. Oh my gosh, it's Astrid's husband. It's her husband. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't judge anyone who does watch commercials. I'm just saying, if I noticed somebody was feeling depressed and feeling like their life is meaningless and they're watching a lot of commercials, I would tell them immediately to stop watching the commercials. Because there's just, I know that there's something very wrong going on with that. So yeah. He what? Just like that? No fuss, really? He must be really desperate. Let's go back. Alright, let's see if I can buy anything here. Take a look at our maps and brochures for the latest tours. You'll be exploring the world in no time. Amazon Prime. I do the same thing, Jess. I do the same thing. Well, I will say I grew up without any TV. Except for I got to watch one show at my grandma's house once a week. And I was for a minute, like I watched TV at my in-laws for a while, and I watched a lot of it all at once because I was so TV deprived. I had not seen it for like 20 years. And I started watching it, and immediately I felt this boost of something. Every time I'd watch a commercial, I felt something weird happening to me. And then, like, after a while, after watching TV for like 5 years, I was extremely depressed. At first, I felt like, oh wow, this is so cool, all these cool products, and I felt like I needed to get them. And then after a while, I felt severely depressed. So I think TV gives you this high first, like, oh my gosh, I'm watching all this amazing stuff, and I'm part of the cool crowd. I'm watching all these modern shows, and like I'm watching everything like everyone else is, and then after a while it's like TV like lifts you up and makes you feel really good for a minute, and then it's like a drug basically. Makes you feel good for a couple of years, and then after that you fall down very hard from it because there's something wrong with the TV and the messages in it. Even without the subliminal messages, the underlying messages in TV shows and movies are very bad. Just the morals that they showcase, and like all this immorality that they're fine with, like just talking about randomly, nonchalantly, like there's no problem with it. It's very messed up. This is taking a bit longer than expected. Okay. We're going. Yeah, and it saves money not to do it, and I would rather, I think that I really do think part of the reason our channel, like, it's hard for me to relate to people on the channel as much. I don't get a tremendous influx of people, like, I used to talk about all the new shows on Disney Channel and Cartoon Network and everything when we had cable. And I could really relate to people a lot better. I feel like our views did go up when I would talk about all the new TV shows, but it was really messing me up personally, because TV itself was just destroying me. And I feel like it destroys everybody. Like, I've seen studies on it that it hurts people. It hurts your mind. It hurts, your relationships. There's something really wrong with it, like the messages in it. And, so I realize it's better, like, if, even though I can't relate to people as much, it's better for me if I don't watch it, because, I couldn't do it anymore. I realized it was messing me up so bad, Well, don't just stand there. Welcome him aboard, Stella. Alright, so here's Giovanni. Yeah, definitely, Jess. I never watch the news. Except for, like, if I mean, honestly, like, I had some mean people at my job one time because, like, election year was coming, and I think they were trying to get in an argument with me. I don't know why. I never ever stated I voted for any side. This was like more than 12 years ago. I just had some mean people at my job, and I said, well, I don't really watch the news based on, who I'm going to vote for, because, obviously the news is going to try to sway my opinion one way or the other. And they were like, oh, I see, so you're uninformed. It's like, well, I'm not uninformed. I just know the news isn't going to inform me because they have an angle. But I think after that, the person said that I started, once in a while I do watch news from like other countries, like from India, if I want to know what's going on. I do really like news stations from India. I think they're very like, I don't know, I guess the word would be based, like they're based, I guess you would say. Like they really, like, for instance, I've listened to news stations coming out of India, and they basically say, okay, well, the farmers are saying this and the corporate people are saying this, so we're gonna have to reach an agreement between it will help both parties. Or they'll say, okay, well, China's saying this, but you know, Korea's saying this, so they're gonna have to reach an agreement that will both parties will understand. And I just think, like, the people from India are so rational about things instead of actually interjecting their opinion and villainizing one side or another like the United States does. I feel like people on the news in India, they try to tell people, like, okay, here's the two sides of the story, and so they're gonna have to work that out, and that's basically like their news. So I really wish we were more like that, because really, like, the news in America is like the most toxic news in the whole world. Like, we have the most toxic news in the entire world, and I don't think that's I don't think that's an exaggeration at all. Giovanni. Astrid? Oh, Astrid! You look good. Always. And you look splendid too, Princess. Astrid, I was looking for you. Everywhere I went, you were not there. Honey, my life is empty without you. The air tastes like dust. The ground feels wobbly. The stars are gone from the sky. No one is here to scratch my back. I even had to buy a back scratcher. And you know, the wooden ones with the little plastic hand on top? Stop it, Giovanni. I haven't forgotten what you did. I will never forget. But I'm willing to forgive you, only if you promise to behave. Can you do that, Giovanni? Can I trust you on this? Should I forget about you right here and right now? Yes. Oh, yes, my princess. Have my back, and I will show you how trustworthy I can be. I will shower you with gifts and never take the slightest peep at other women ever again. Heavens, I will even stop looking at other people. You have my word. All right, Giovannikins. But you're still on probation, mister. If ever I see you doing something fishy, I will kill you. You hear me? Now come here. I have much to tell you. Oh, it's a lion and a lynx. Okay, interesting. All right. Oh, thank you, Jess. You're so sweet. Thank you. Yeah, I find the Indian news station on the on YouTube. Just news stations from India, and then I can easily, if it's not translated into English or I can't understand them, I just put on subtitles. There's also a guy, an independent news person. I think he's based out of America, but I don't know. But he calls himself like independent or non-biased news, or I forgot what it's called, but he does like a news station of one person, and literally every time there's a viral news story, he'll just like show it, but he won't say any of his opinion at all. He'll just say, okay, this is happening, and then he'll just be completely quiet and just watch it happening. He literally won't even comment on it at all. Which I really like. But also, even without the commentation or commenting on the news, I think it's not good for people to know everything that's going on. Like, I don't need to know about every car wreck and every shooting, because that's just gonna mess me up as well. So, but when I do need to know something, when I want to try to be informed, yeah, I watch the Indian news basically, and they basically give me a quick synopsis, and then I'm fine with it, because they already know what's going on. Like, everyone in the world knows what's going on. Americans always think people in other parts of the world don't know what's going on, but they always do. Like, they know exactly everything that's happening. And many times they know additional information that they don't tell us here in America. Like, they talk about, not to get into this, but, you know, people talk about the Iron Curtain, or people in North Korea or the Middle East having their news edited and not having all the information and basically telling their citizens a different version of the truth, people should really look into how edited our American news is, because they really edit a lot out of what's happening and skew the news tremendously. Our news is almost worse than North Korea or Middle Eastern stuff like Iran and stuff. Our news is so edited for us that if you actually watch the news coming out of India or the Philippines or China or Australia or anywhere or Europe, you will hear a different version of everything you're being told, and it is completely opposite from what they tell you in America. Or it will be like they told you 1/10 of what's going on in America. They edit it tremendously. They think people don't have Google or can't use Google Translate to go and watch the news coming out of another country. But you know, I would encourage everyone in America to really look at every news story, watch what they say coming out of, you know, different countries. Like, you know, watch the news from Australia, watch the news from India, watch the news coming out of Europe, and then make your opinion about what actually happened, because they are not telling you anywhere near 1/10 of the truth in the United States. They do not tell you the full story, and the news is very heavily edited. That's all I have to say. I was shocked, some things that I found out on international news sites, and I realized, oh my gosh, they also don't cover a lot of international stories in the United States that are extremely important things that are happening all the time. They don't tell us anything that's going on in the world. They only focus on stuff that's happening in the United States that they want us to focus on, like riots, or somebody, you know, didn't give their, you know, didn't appropriately recognize their dog's, you know, preferred way of being named. I mean, the kind of news stories we have in the United States are absolutely ridiculous. It's almost like they're literally making news up to try to not allow us to actually see what's happening in the actual world. They're literally hiding the news from us and then creating new news to try to like brainwash us into thinking that there's a different reality than what is. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Giovanni and I have a few things to settle. You don't need to babysit me for a while. I'm sure you've gotten better things to do than watch two ancient lovebirds reconnect. I will talk to you later. But yeah, Google Translate is going to be your best friend, because you know, once you start actually listening to the news from other countries, and you're like, wait a second, in America they said it was the opposite, or America, you know, like they said this, you know, you know, like they'll, you know, they completely change the entire, they completely, you know, say, I don't know, it's just, they just completely edit certain parts out of what actually happened all the time to fit their narrative. So whatever their narrative is, but it, you know, which I think the United States narrative is really just to keep everyone stupid and not know anything that's happening, so that they can control people. Because and like, for instance, I'll just give you one example. Like if you watch the news in India, or coming out of China, or coming out of Pakistan, or, you know, even coming out of, you know, Europe, and other countries like that, they cover issues that are going on in the Middle East all the time. There's always something going on there all the time. We just never hear about it ever, because our news station is too busy focusing on, you know, just American stories, even though there is really dangerous stuff that happens all the time in the world. There are wars that happen that the United States, we don't even know about. There's literally wars that happen. There was almost a war that broke out between India and China a while ago. They were fighting at the border. Nobody covered that here in the United States at all. There's stuff happening all the time going on in the world that literally we never hear about because they don't cover it. Their main thing is always about, you know, issues and drama going on in the United States. We're literally so closed off from the world, we have no clue what's happening. So if something really was dangerous going on that could affect us, we would be the last to know about it. So like, that's why I find it so absurd that people are like, oh my gosh, are you, you know, praying for the Middle East right now? It's like, yeah, there's stuff going on there all the time though. That kind of stuff is happening all the time. This is happening on like every couple months for the last, you know, 100,000 years. This is happening all the time. This is going on like on a daily basis. Things like that are happening. So I just always tell people, yeah, I'm always praying for the Middle East. Like once in a while, once every like 7 years, the United States decides to cover a news story about it. But it's always going on. Like that whole, you know, the whole thing that was going on with Syria and stuff. You know, that was extremely scary, and everything that was going on there. The United States didn't hardly cover that at all. Damascus was completely destroyed, like completely annihilated. Tons of children were captured and taken like as slaves, and you know, the whole area was destroyed. That whole like country basically collapsed. We didn't hardly have any news stories about it at all. You know, nobody really like was helping those people. The whole infrastructure of that country was being destroyed. That country was a country that had rights for Muslims, atheists, Jews, and Christians all lived in Syria, and that was a country where you didn't have to be a certain religion. That whole country was destroyed because, you know, there was this thing with the United States that went in there and they were, quote, helping them, and they, you know, everything was destroyed and tons of people lost their lives. Children were taken. Nobody covered that news story here in the United States. Nobody cared. They only cover stuff that literally affects them, you know. Here's a news story about, you know, a kid wears a t-shirt and it's inappropriate for school. I wonder what we should do about this. This child was offended. Let's stand up for this child because they should have the right to wear the t-shirt they want to wear. Literally, the kind of news stories they cover in the United States are absolutely ridiculous. It's almost like we're living in a false reality in which they're literally just throwing fake news stories at us that literally do not matter whatsoever. In the grand scheme of things, they're not covering the news at all. They're literally brainwashing people so that they are not aware of what actually is happening all the time. I mean, that's a story for another day, but yeah, it's just, if you actually, that's why, like, I was just thinking today, when somebody asks me about, like, what's really the truth of this topic or that, it's like, I think, like, you know, like, when you think about something bad that has happened in the world or something that's confusing, like, what's going on in this situation, whatever the darkest thing you can think of that is the reason for that, that's probably what the actual truth is. Whatever the darkest reality that you could think of is actually behind that, that's probably real, because the world is a very dark place, and really bad stuff happens all the time, and like, you know, we're actually very privileged in this country. They try to make us feel like we're having all these riots and everyone hates each other, but compared to a lot of places that is through like war-torn chaos, mercenaries coming through and just, you know, taking people and all kinds of stuff that happens all the time. Really, I mean, everyone here in this country is lucky to live here. We literally have somewhat peace. Like, people cannot just go through an entire village or a town in this country and just take people and kidnap everyone in the town. I mean, I've never heard of that happening in the last 20 years. You know, that happens a lot in other countries. You know, they're trying to make us feel like our country is the worst place we could be, but actually it's one of the best. And, you know, they're trying to make us hate our own country, make us hate ourselves. And they're literally doing a great job of brainwashing America. They're trying to destroy the whole country. I really think the people behind this whole brainwashing on TV, they're trying to destroy us. They're trying to make us hate ourselves. And if we hate ourselves, we'll literally destroy ourselves from within. And they're trying to take us down, and destroy our entire nation. Because if we can hate ourselves, then we won't work hard. We won't care about our fellow man. We won't trust each other. We won't build a good economy. We won't build good relationships with each other, and we'll just destroy ourselves. So, yeah. And then that will be convenient for people in the world, because America's a huge problem for a lot of people. America is a republic, a democracy. People are allowed to make their own decisions. They have rights. If you take away America, then this is one of the nations that actually began the movement of, well, it first started in France with, well, actually no, it was kind of France and America kind of were in the same time frame where they were both revolting against the kings and stuff of their country. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of other republics came after that. Taiwan was a republic. Chinese people that wanted to govern themselves. South Korea, tons of places across the world had wanted to govern themselves because of what they saw worked in America. If you take down America, then it would be very easy for you to dictate to the rest of the world and destroy any hope of people having any freedom in the rest of the world. People don't understand how important America is. It's extremely important because it's a symbol of freedom. And that's why they're trying to destroy it with American television. That's really what they're trying to do. I see you picked a spot on the map. What wonderful initiative, Bambina. Seeing the world, going places, meeting faces. It's also exhilarating. Before we go somewhere incredible, though, could you do something for me? Let's go somewhere else. Okay, I'll let you in on a secret. I want to make someone really happy. Shh, don't say it out loud. A secret, I told you. And yes, you guessed right, a very special lady. I want to show her how much she matters to me. I knew you would be on board. All right, we need to go to the Bottom Line Corp to do some shopping. I've heard the shop there just received a new batch of fancy chocolate boxes, and she loves chocolate. The dark and expensive kind is the perfect gift, don't you think? Wonderful, Bambina. Let's head there then. Alright, so we're gonna go to the next quest. So this is Giovanni's quest with Astrid. Okay, alright, so head to the Bottom Line Corp. Well, it could go two ways. The United States could transition into an empire, which is exactly what happened with the Roman Empire, which is why everyone's thinking about Rome. It is kind of transitioning into an empire right now, because there has been news stories of corruption due in voting, in people getting into office in shady ways, in people getting bribes in office, in people doing shady things while in office, in people gaining money from being in office, in people who have had a criminal record being in office. Once you start looking at politicians who have been criminals or who are benefiting financially off of being in office, you have started the beginnings of a democracy becoming into an empire, into a dictatorship. Because once you let these politicians get away with being corrupt and fudging numbers and fudging their bank account and fudging their bribes and not telling you the truth and not being honest with the American people, once you allow them to get away with that, they can get away with anything. They could do what every dictator does in history, which is have a mock election and have everyone vote, but they change all the ballots to themselves. And that is what a lot of dictators do. And, look at the Roman Empire. Julius Caesar was a consul. Many people don't know this. I've studied extensively about Julius Caesar. There's supposed to be 2 consuls ruling Rome. It was a republic, which is the exact same structure as we have. Republic is like a democracy, but you elect officials to vote for you. And if those officials don't do what you ask them to do, you need to vote them out of office. But the problem is we don't vote them out of office. We say, well, all officials are corrupt and that's just normal. But if you allow that to be normal, then your democracy is going to die. Your republic will die. Because it cannot be normal. They have to be held to a stricter account than you and I, because you and I aren't running for public office, but they are. So they have to have a higher standard on them. And if every single politician is corrupt, then they all need to go. Every single one of them has to go, and then we have to elect completely new ones. Because there cannot be corrupt people that are lording over the American people, because it will destroy the country. And it is very dangerous. As soon as you start seeing news stories, you're going to start seeing it the next 10 years. Every 4 years, you're going to see more and more stories, I guarantee you, about people fudging the numbers on elections, no matter what side it is. Once you start seeing that, then you know that you're doomed. Because once the elections are no longer real, you have no authority, you have no power, and you no longer are a republic. Now it is a dictatorship. And Rome became a dictatorship. Look at what happened to Rome. They used to have, they used to vote in the consuls. 2 people would reside over the Roman Empire, 2 leaders. They were basically had 2 presidents. And then what happened after Julius Caesar was killed? Augustus became the first emperor of Rome after Caesar, was the first king basically of Rome. And then after that, I believe it was Tiberius, and he was both Augustus and Tiberius were terrible. I think it was Tiberius. I believe it was him. I can't remember. It was the emperor that came after him, and they were. All I remember is Augustus showed the emperor that came after him. He had this house that he had. Everything was about power and control. You know, he had this house that he would have on this cliff, and he would invite dignitaries to come and visit him and discuss politics. And if he didn't like what they had to say, they would accidentally fall off the cliff near his house, and there were ships literally down there underneath his cliff, under the cliff on his house, that would literally had oars there, right there, to literally finish off anyone trying to survive after being thrown off the cliff. And that's how he dealt with people that he disagreed with. Right now, we are in a situation in which if people disagree on Twitter, you are trying to be canceled. People try to tell you that you are evil. They try to get people to stop buying your products. They get people to stop trying to be your friend. They call your house. They try to basically bully you into agreeing with everything the government or whatever is the modern thing wants you to think. But in the future, that could lead to basically they will just kill you if you disagree. And it makes sense that there's the TikTok trend going on where everyone's talking about Rome, because we are basically Rome. We're set up exactly that Rome was set up. Rome was set up as a nation of immigrants. We are set up as a nation of immigrants. Rome was set up as a multicultural society. We are set up as a multicultural society. Rome was based on principles, and it was based on a republic. We are based on our principles in a republic. We don't have any, this isn't a country based on, Native American beliefs, because Native Americans, are the center of this country. This is a country based on, immigrants from everywhere, and that's how Rome was. Many people don't know this, but even though Rome was based off of Italy, the actual town, Rome, was the first town that was made. The actual center of Rome, the capital, the actual city was created based on a safe haven for criminals, people that had nowhere to go, people that were in debt, people that were running away from the law, people that had no money. And look at the United States. There is that You know, there is that statue that says, give me your poor, give me your hungry, give me your forgotten, or whatever it says on the Statue of Liberty. We are set up, we are basically a copy of Rome, right here. And it's basically the exact same thing. And Rome turned after 400 years. They were joking about that on The View, like, well, Rome fell after 400 years. Literally, we're like, how old is this country? 1776. It is, you know, this country, 1770. Let's see, how many years have we been around? At least 200, maybe going on 300. We don't have long. I mean, how long can? What did I think it was Benjamin Franklin who said? You know, they said, what kind of country should it be? Because they were deciding what kind of country would be. He said, a republic if you can keep it. But the thing is, people cannot keep a republic for that long. It eventually falls because people are corrupt. That's why it's so scary. We are literally, when you start seeing a lot of news stories about politicians arguing, remember a long time ago in the 90s where they had the vote, they had the recount vote. They made everyone recount the vote. When you start seeing people recount votes like that, or you see people saying, I'm not sure if these voting machines are correct, or, you know, maybe there was a bunch of dead people that voted, and you start seeing news stories about votes not being correct. When the votes are being tampered with, then you know your republic is going to go very soon. Like for me personally, you know, I have a lot of taxes to pay off, so I can't leave the country. But if I didn't have taxes to pay off, I would leave now and go to South Korea, because there's a lot of scary things going on in the United States. But yeah, I think we could very well become like the bad guys in a very scary, playing out scary events in a very weird world. Dominating thing, because it could very easily turn to a dictatorship. And then look what happened when Rome became a dictatorship. You know, a whole bunch of corrupt things, horrible things happened. People being fed to the lions, you know, like dictators throwing people off cliffs and everything. I mean, you know, it didn't take long before things got very scary. You know, I'm just saying, like, it is a very scary time we're living in, and that's why every single person that lives either in or outside the United States, if you live in the United States, you have to do everything you can to keep your mind focused on, you know, you need to think for yourself. You cannot allow TV and the government and these things online to influence your ability to think straight. And you need to have, as Abraham Lincoln said, freedom of conscience. You know, you have to be able to know what is right to you, what you believe is right based on your beliefs, and you have to have the freedom to be able to do what is right. You know, like if you know, there's people that don't believe in eating animals. They have the freedom to do that right now. If the United States was a dictatorship, they might not have that freedom. There's people that believe in going to their religious places on either, whether it be, you know, Hindu, Islam, Buddhism, Christianity, or Judaism, or any religion they have. They're allowed to freely worship right now. But if we became a dictatorship, that might not be the case. So, you know, you have to do, if you live in the United States, you have to do everything you can to try to think for yourself and not allow the government to tell you, oh, it's wrong. Right now, they're trying to tell you it's wrong for you to think for yourself. It's wrong for you to have an opinion that doesn't correspond to the Borg or whatever online consensus is. I really think for every issue that you come across, you should think of your own opinion first, and then go online and see if it's socially acceptable. Because I think you should form your own opinion before you go online. Because, you know, if you just allow the government to think for you, they're going to think you right into poverty and into slavery. Because that's what they would like to do to everyone. they, you know, it's not convenient for Americans to have TVs and nice cars and family vacations. It would be much more convenient if we all obeyed the state and we all spent a lot less money on ourselves and we all had a lot less freedom and we all fell in line and we all had a lot, you know, they're trying to tell us that us being different and having different religions, different nationalities here is the problem. But that's not true. That's actually what they're telling us is our problem is actually our solution. We have to have freedom for people of other nationalities and religions to be themselves. We have to have freedom to disagree and to have those arguments online and to okay, you have your strong opinion and I have mine. They're trying to tell us, oh, if you have a strong opinion, then you hate the other person. That's not true. That's being an American. Being an American means I have the freedom to have a strong opinion and you have the freedom to have a strong opposite opinion, and that's what being American is. It's having freedom of conscience. You get to choose. You get to decide what you feel is right, and if you believe in God, then you get to, you could choose what you believe God wants you to do. But if the government takes over, you can't choose that anymore. You have to do what the government wants you to do, because they'll be your God. And you won't have any choice anymore. You won't be able to go with your conscience. Like in China, for instance, a mother in China probably in her conscience, she doesn't want to kill her child when they had that 2-person policy. But she doesn't get to go with her freedom of conscience. Because her conscience is telling her, I can't kill my child, but the government is saying, you better kill your child or else. And that's what a dictatorship is like. You will have no freedom to decide what is right in your heart and go with your own conscience. You will not be able to do that. So yeah, it is very scary what's happening right now in the United States, and people really, what they really need to do, if everyone stopped watching TV, if everyone just started like reading a lot of books, writing, just being very strong in their own belief, their own opinion, their own conscience, and try to become better individuals on their own, and just learn to work together, in their community instead of expecting the government to solve everything. We will easily be able to build each other up, our communities and our families, and we'll be able to easily help each other out when things are difficult. We won't need to beg the government for handouts or for lower gas prices. We'll be able to take care of ourselves, because you don't want to ask them to bail you out, because it always comes with a price. They always expect something later, and you don't want to do that. You want to be able to depend on your fellow man, your neighbor, your friend, your family, because even if your neighbor doesn't have the same beliefs as you, you need to realize, like, your neighbor is somebody, another human being that lives in the same country, and you both believe one thing. We all believe as Americans, whether we disagree on religion or politics, is we all believe in freedom. We all want the freedom to believe what we want to believe. We all want to be able to live our lives the way we want. So, that is one thing we have in common. And we have to prove to the government that we can we basically have to govern ourselves. They're not going to help us out. They're not here to be our friend. Sorry, I didn't mean to go on a rant, but oh my gosh, I am literally echoing here. I can hear myself! Oh my gosh! Why am I can hear myself on the computer. Oh my gosh. Alright, there we go. Alright, so I have to actually set up Sea of Stars. But yeah, I mean, we are in a very difficult situation, like, very soon. So people really, they really do need to, it's not really like any one person or any one side is correct. We all have to learn to, in this country, we all have to learn to agree to disagree, and we all have to find some kind of common ground that we can govern ourselves, because if we don't figure out how to get along with ourselves, the government will figure it out, and their version of figuring it out is going to be something we're going to wish we're never been born, because it will be very bad. Like, their version of reality and what they think will keep the citizens in line will not be what we were thinking at all. And everyone will be asking for it. Everyone will say, oh yeah, you need to help us out. There's all this fighting. There's all these riots. There's all these people not treating me right online. Oh, the government will step in. Oh, they'll step in. And they'll, quote, take care of it. But the way they'll take care of it is not going to be what you wish. You will have wished you never asked them for help, because they will make it terrible for everyone. And it's happened over and over again through history, and it's very scary. So yeah. But anyways, yeah, I'll try to go to, I'll try to end the stream on a positive note. Sorry to get into it, so much. Let's see. But yeah, we are in a dangerous, time. And I mean, we could fall faster. We could actually fall faster than Rome did. Because we have more to take us down. Rome didn't have social media. You know, we have a lot more things trying to take us down than Rome did. It will be much easier for us to fall than it would have been for them. Alright, I am just gonna change the, time of this. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna try to go to one other area, guys and gals, and then I'm gonna call it a stream. So we're doing the Giovanni quest, but, so we went to one island for Giovanni. It's like, every time there's a news story online, they try to tell you who to hate. You ever notice that on the news? They say, well, this is this person's fault, or this is this person's fault, or they'll try to make up something. They'll be like, well, this is because certain people hate these type of people. You ever notice that? They're trying to make us think that everyone here hates everybody else, which is not the case. People, they're trying to you know, maybe if one, you know, even if nobody even says anything, you know? Like, say there was a fire at St. Patrick's Day, they would probably make a news story saying that's because of all the people here that hate Irish people. There's really nobody here that hates Irish people, but they would make up stories. They do that all the time on the news. They do anything they can to spread hate and try to make us think that we hate each other, which is the opposite of how Americans feel. We don't hate each other at all. And, you know, they're really trying to sway people's opinion. They're trying to brainwash people to make people think that everyone hates everyone else. The best thing that we can do is just stay calm, you know, keep calm and carry on, and ignore them. You know, just think of the news station as a bully that is lying about us. You know, think of the news as like a meddling mother or mother-in-law that keeps lying and saying you're never gonna amount to anything, you know, you're never gonna do well in school, you're never gonna do well as a country, you're never gonna do anything right. That's what the news is always saying. So you just have to ignore what they're saying and, you know, just start being kind to people around you. Take care of people next to you, even if the people near you don't have the same beliefs as you. Realize they do have one of the same beliefs, and that's that they want a good life. They want people to be kind to them. They want freedom. They just want to work on their own and, you know, kind of be left alone, and they want to be treated with respect. A lot of us have the same beliefs. They want to be happy. They want to take care of their family. So no matter if we all disagree on other things, we agree on a lot of things. You know, I think that if we just ignore the news, if we ignore all this stuff, I think we can do really well. But we have to all, like, people have to decide to think for themselves. That if everyone thought for themselves, even if all our opinions are different, we wouldn't be the hive mind of the government thinking whatever they're telling us to think. We would be sorting things out ourselves with disagreeing opinions and come to an agreement amongst ourselves and talk through things as normal people instead of being dictated what to think. And so the best thing you can do to prevent things from becoming a dictatorship is think for yourself. Have your own opinion and don't let what you hear online or what the government tells you to think sway your opinion. Don't change your opinion based on what you're told you're allowed to think. You know, you can, like, compromise, like, you know, if you only think sidewalks should be red and the sidewalks are painted white, you don't have to, like, yell at people for it. But you can still have your opinion that you still think sidewalks should be red. You don't have to change your mind, but you can compromise. So really, people need to act more like that. They just think for yourself, but learn to compromise with others. That's all we need to do. We don't need the government to step in and take over everything. We can figure it out as reasonable human beings. And that is the truth. Something smells different, don't you think? Oh, and as I thought, just help it, Stella. Whoops. Alright, so here's a new dragon. Oh wow, I got flung over here. Oh my gosh, I cannot get to this area. Oh my gosh. Oh wow, I can't do it. I can't do it, oh my gosh. Wow. I can't do it. Link, be a good cat. I can't do this. Oh wow, this is kind of hard. Oh my gosh! How am I supposed to get that? Link, please don't be a bad cat. Link, please don't be a bad cat. Please relax, Link. Link, please. Okay, my cat is crawling off. I can't. Wow. It looks really relieved, doesn't it? I wonder what it means. If we are ever to cross this dragon's path again, I think we should help it. However I might feel about it. For now, though, I need some time to collect my thoughts. Thank you, Stella, for everything. So we took care of the dragon. Alright, okay. Alright, guys and gals, thanks again for watching today's episode. We've got another, we have a video going up in about 15 minutes from now. So thanks again for watching, and, yeah, hopefully I won't get it. Yeah, so anyway, that was an interesting discussion, but I probably won't do that again for a long time, but, yeah, I mean, it does get to me, everything going on, in the world, but I think I'm glad to live, you know, where I do, and I'm having a good day. I hope you guys are too. My cat's right next to me, so Link the cat says goodbye everyone, and see you guys in 15 minutes on the video premiere of Sea of Stars. Alright guys, thanks so much for the likes and for watching. God bless, happy gaming, see ya!